Hi, guys. So, I just wanted to talk about something really personal and something really special as well. So, I've talked about in previous videos how I've struggled with boundaries and I have struggled with getting attached to people. And the reason for it is because, and I don't want sympathy. I'm not doing this for sympathy. Please do not give me sympathy. I'm just I'm just opening up about something and being honest about it. But the reason was because I have had, a lot of friends walk out on me. I've had a lot of friendships and also romantic relationships end badly. Because people don't really like, a lot of people, they don't really like to, especially when you're a kid, they don't like to be around someone who's different because I guess different scares them or makes them uncomfortable. And because of that, um, because of all the friendships and relationships that I lost over the years, I developed abandonment issues. And for the past few years in therapy, I've been working on it. But I have also realized that eventually, like I would find a new friend, I would get attached to them because I would think, oh my gosh, this friend is different. This friend is so nice. And I can just be my complete self around them. And they love me the way I am. And they make promises and they're like, I'll always be your friend. I love you. And then they either slowly drift away and stop talking to me, or they just completely cut me off, or they become hostile, or just like basically the friendship or romantic relationship goes up in smoke. And I've noticed that it's a pattern, because I let my abandonment issues take over, and I would get too clingy because I would be terrified of losing them. And that was really doing a number on me. And for the past few years, I have been tackling it in therapy. And I have been really big on boundaries and respecting people's boundaries. So now I can recognize when I'm getting really attached to someone and I'm like, oh crap, I really hope that I don't overstep their boundaries. Because the last thing I want to do is make someone feel overwhelmed by me. That's just, I never meant to make anyone feel that way. But, it's also, some like my autistic traits, I also have trouble picking up on social cues. Sometimes I wouldn't realize that I was being too much, too clingy, too overwhelming, whatever. Now I'm a lot more self-aware. And tonight I had a conversation with someone really special to me. She's like a soul sister to me. She is my brother's fiance. I won't say her name just because I want to respect her boundaries. But she and I have become really close and developed this beautiful friendship. And I told her about it briefly. I told her about my fears. And I told her, I hope I never make you feel overwhelmed. I hope I never I hope I'm never too clingy to you and stuff like that. And she said to me, don't overthink it, and that she loves me and that she loves being loved. And she just kept hugging me and just showering me with lots of hugs and love, and it meant a lot to me. You know, I'm big on boundaries. You know, I try very hard to respect people's boundaries. So I try not to flood people with messages anymore. I try not to be too overwhelming, and, I try not to, get too I try not to get too clingy. And when I recognize that I feel the clinginess coming on, I'm like, no, don't let it turn you into, no, don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything you're going to regret. Don't do anything to make them feel overwhelmed. And yeah, I do overthink it. That is absolutely true. I do overthink it. But I guess I'm just so big on boundaries now. Boundaries are important to me. I have also had my boundaries overstepped many times in my life. And a lot of times I never spoke up. And sometimes when I did, it backfired. And other times it actually worked out and it was fine. But yeah, how can I expect people to respect my boundaries though if I don't respect theirs? And I don't know if I'm making any sense, but it's just some things that have been on my mind that I just wanted to get off my chest. And I guess it feels really good to know that there is someone out there who sees me for who I am and who sees my intentions and who gets it and tells me that they love me for being me. Just someone who loves me for me. Someone that just gets it. They get it. They understand. It's almost like we just know each other on this soul level. And there have been times when I felt that kind of connection with someone in the past, but nothing like this though. This is special. Because a lot of time in the past, when I thought that I found a really strong friendship, it was actually very toxic because I was way too attached, almost to the point where I was codependent, I guess you could say. And I almost based my self-worth on if this person really, if this person cares about me, and what if I lose this person? I mean, obviously I deeply cared about these people in the past. I absolutely did. I cared about them. But I again, I don't know if I'm making any sense or if you know what the heck I'm talking about, but I mean, at least now I do know my self-worth. I know that I'm not a perfect person and I don't want to be, but I love being me. I can say that I love myself. But I still have that fear of being overwhelming to someone and making them feel smothered because, well, I care about people's feelings. And that's the last thing I want to do to them, especially someone that I love that much. This person is like a soul sister. And she is she's one of the kindest people I've met. And she's someone, I have so much in common with her. I mean, we're both into spirituality. We're both into music. We both like a lot of the same foods. We both have very similar sense of humor. You know, I mean, and my mother actually noticed that we have some of the same mannerisms, which is really cool. I mean, she's a wonderful person, and I absolutely adore the snot out of her. Like, she's just wonderful. And that's the last thing I want to do is ever be way too clingy on her and make her feel overwhelmed, because I care about her and I care about her boundaries. And I just, and I know what it's like to have people walk all over your boundaries and be way too clingy to you. And it's like, just let me breathe. I've had people do that to me in the past. And then I would do the same to other people. And it's like how can I expect other people to respect my boundaries when I don't respect theirs? But, I was very upfront with her and told her, I hope that I never do that to you. And she told me, don't overthink it, because I love you and I love being loved. And that just touched my heart. It's just great. Yeah, I'm still trying to respect people's boundaries. And I try to back off when I think that maybe I'm being too overwhelming to someone, that I really care about. And it's not really, I guess now I'm realizing one of the reasons why I was so clingy to people is because of my abandonment issues. And yeah, I also based my self-worth on, on them as well, and on their validation. And, I guess it was also codependency. But I think the biggest one was my fear of losing people because of my abandonment issues. And that's why I became clingy, because I'm like, I don't want to lose this person. But I would also be scared that I would be too clingy. But I'm like, I don't know how to stop. How do I stop? How do I stop? How do I make it stop? Thank God for therapy. Thank God for therapy, because it really helped me. And, I'm still working through issues. I'm not perfect, because like I said, I still overthink things. But, I'm a lot more self-aware. But yeah, I guess maybe what I'm saying is, I have definitely learned to respect people's boundaries. And I finally found the right people who accept and love me the way I am. And they get it. They understand that I'm different, and there's some parts of me that that I can't really change, or at least I can't change overnight. And just people that I can be myself around and I can be open and honest with. And it just means a lot. It really does. So anyway, I think I've said everything I wanted to say, and I hope that I made sense, but it's just something that I wanted to get off my chest. Boundaries definitely are important to me. And, I am also better at setting boundaries. I'm still working on it, still working on saying no when someone like when someone makes me feel overwhelmed, or telling them, hey, I need some space. But I am better at it now than I was. So yeah, like I said, boundaries are important to me. But it also means a lot to me to find people that just accept me the way I am and love me, warts and all. So yeah, anyway. I'm not wearing a sweater right now, but still big fluffy sweater hugs.